Hello there, my friends, and welcome. Welcome to the weekend and welcome to my channel. This is Kate, and yes, it looks a bit clean here, but that is really a disguise for all the other things that I've been doing. This is a new cheap tray from Kmart, where I was today, and it just looked cleaner. So I've got it up high because we're going to do a mini makes today, and it's been a while. And you know how I like making little things, and particularly pincushions. Now, I usually make a series to go with me when I go away, but I have been so flat out, and I literally am going to say I've been flat out because it's been mailing time for the bazaar. So I'm delighted to say that all those parcels have flown the nest thanks to my gorgeous husband. We were a great team, and so I've got little bits of everything all over the place, and some of the little things I've got are some blanket. Better just check. I've got some blanket that I've been cutting. I've got little bits of lace. I've got bits of colourful, this is Indian cotton that I was tying up something with. This is straight off the floor. A bit of beautiful braiding. I found a mini make that I started when I was in Jaipur in March and haven't done anything with. Inspiration wise, we can look to the work of the lovely Tracy, and I've buried my long pincushion as well. You know, I collect this one that was made by Juju ages ago, and like just still being adored. She usually sits up here like that, so let's put that one there. Oh, there's a little bookmark by my mum. So how are you going? I'm hoping everything is well in your world, because it's time here for play. You are my reward, as always. Too bright today. Yeah, for getting things done. So I'm going to make this early so that I can get back to packing. So what was that all about? Let's make one, if not two, beginnings of my favorite cupcake key pincushions, but with a difference. I thought we might make a round one and a square one. So for something round, let's get square. You know, I don't draw and I'm not good at circles, but in my mind's eye, I'm imagining a circle-ish sort of shape there. What a shame if this comes out completely wrong. Well, it's like a undescribable. How would I turn that into a more roundy? It doesn't actually have to be round, does it? I call them cupcakes because one of you gorgeous people said it looks like a cupcake when I made my first ones. Welcome to my new subscribers. It's lovely to have you here. And as I always say, whether you've been here from the beginning, the middle, the end, or just passing by, this is a place of welcome. And I just like hanging out with you and sharing what I'm making. So when I think of Adelaide, I am actually teaching in the atelier of Gabriella, who is the designer, matriarch, I don't know what words to describe, of Miss Rose Sister Violet. And I'd say Gabriella likes all things French. So it's lots of lace and beautiful, beautiful things. So I do have, this is, I'm going to use that piece on another thing, but what I collect is little bits of beautiful vintage fabrics. So I'm thinking vintage in this one. And why not use some of my good vintage on something that will go and sit on the table. So here's some lace. This was a white christening dress for a child, and I've tea dyed it. So let's cut a little length of that off. What else have I got? Oh, this is a little bit of vintage pillowcase cushion that I've had for ages and ages, but I'm loving this sort of colour. So we don't need big pieces. You're probably saying, which one are you going to do first, Kate? I do not know. So, how are you going at the moment? It's been a couple of days since I last talked to you, and things probably have been happening. So I hope you can use this time to reflect on all that is going on for you. Let me see what else I've got here. It's a little bit of... I'm literally taking bits off the floor now. Oh, after this, I'm going to pack a huge box to post to Texas. Something I've not done. Fleur, as in Fleur Woods, has been very helpful because she's done this way more than me. And yeah, starting to get my head around how you prepare for something a long way away. See, all these bits that you probably haven't seen for ages and ages are popping back up, which brings me to something I was going to show you. Which I've buried. No. It'll be another day. Okay, so let's keep going. So we're sort of building a garden, and then before this gets too far on, I'm going to stitch the pincushion together and then continue to embellish. Now, I always like a frill somewhere. How about on the end? And let's pick up some thread. Red's there, but I don't really want to use that. It's a bit high, isn't it? Does not matter. I brought this over. A little bit of embellishing there. So eclectic. Okay, let's get going. I know. Let's find some more. I'm saying eclectic floral with some stabs of fluoro. How does that sound? I had a very special morning tea this morning with the lovely Kerry, who I'm getting to know through my husband. And I might have told you this before, but my husband plays bridge, and yeah, I've got to meet his bridge partner, Kerry, who is very creative. She did actually my pouch course earlier in the year, and I just knew she had a great eye. She's very, very quiet about sharing how creative she is. But anyway, today I got to have a lovely coffee with her. She'd made, I take my hat off, she had made a cake that was fresh orange off the tree around the corner and almond. So it was just delightful. And I saw her pouch, which she had turned into the feature on a velvet, a golden velvet cushion. So it was a great idea and a great reminder to me that, you know, I always say we're making pouches often, but you know, we don't have to know exactly where our piece is going. And that's what mini makes are all about. Just get stitching and see what it turns into. Although this time I did have a purpose in mind. So see how I'm a bit of a cheat? I'm sewing the pin cushion together at the same time as putting these things down. Just makes it all the more fun, and it is very much like that, you know, that younger self when you were a child and you just didn't have all the instructions, so you watched someone else without quite knowing what to do. That's what this feels like. It's been beautiful to address packages and to get messages and to see, you know, the same people purchasing from me. That is really lovely, and I take that as a huge compliment. And a special, I met through an email because of the package address, the lovely Rose. So Rose, you know who you are. You really touch my heart with your story, and your parcel is winging its way to you. So I'm really hoping that you enjoy. Okay, now we are into the middle here, so I'm lifting this flap. Of course you don't have to do any of this method. It's make it up as you go along, but because I've got this flower and I was bored with going along that way, we're just going to stop and get the flower on. And then see what else we could tuck under there. I bought this fabric over. It's this beautiful French linen that I'm going to be using in a lot of my workshops. It has a wonderful story behind it. Let's put this little bit gone too far, haven't I? Oh no. Am I covering up? No, I'm not covering up anything down there. Or could I tuck that under there? There we go. So we're thinking garden. Florals to embellish. With me, it's always frayed, but with you, do you. I don't know whether I was telling you or whether I was telling Kerry that I've started a new work that's all in natural tones. If you've been with me for a while, you'll know that I started with vintage colours. I call them naturals rather than neutrals because why should they have no personality? Yeah, we'll have a little skirt across here. trying to think of what questions I've been asked in my comments. A few have asked about my story and how I got here, but I'll save that for a different day. Wool, I use 4-ply, but I use a whole variety of different ones. Now I know you'll be thinking, how does this all go together? So let's just use this thread now to, excuse me, go up here. Let's come on the thread. All right, so far we have like a little half a pincushion that we're going to put the stuffing in. Still got a hole up here, so we'll do that first. And we might put another little embellishment. Will we? Yes. A bit of harvesting. So we've got that flower. Tuck it under there. Need to cut some more of that off. Sometimes they just fall naturally into place, and not today. Oh, that was loud with the scissors, sorry. Okay, different coloured thread. No matter where I put everything, I bury them. Let's do orange. I finally had to go and get my nails done after morning tea because we've got a family. Well, it's my husband's dad's 90th birthday tomorrow, so that's a family occasion. I think I've told you about that. And then I'm flying from there on to Adelaide, so I have to sort of be pretty organised by tonight. These poor flowers, which way do we want them to go? We want them to go up there. Just going to go up beside this flower because the idea is I have to get rid of that hole there before we can put the stuffing in. Kerry is a knitter and we were talking about patterns and just like the different skills but how similar they all are, and about following a design or making up a pattern, and how it all goes together in our worlds of making and creating. that's pin's not. So see, I can still get my hand in the middle, which is quite, I like to make pouches and stitch this way with my hand in the middle. It's that tactile function. So why am I doing this? I've got wool in my needle, and we're just going to follow it to help get this flower down a little bit more. If you asked what stitch I was doing or am doing, it's sort of like a seed stitch. And now we're going to join that flower to this piece of garden. I'd like to come back and work those petals. For the moment, I'll just sort of keep going by. So they look to me like they should be in gold or yellow. So we're starting to get the petals around the flower, and now we're joining. I can hear you going flower to flower. That is exactly right. That's how you make a garden. Which is my favorite thing to do. A little bit of comic relief there. Okay, I've worn that thread out. All right, not looking much at the moment, but she will grow and grow. Will we put the stuffing in so we can get the feel of, yes, I think we will. She says, hang on for a sec. I just get this out of an old cushion. The last ones I did some rice, didn't I? Arborio rice. And Kristen, in my beautiful K one, used a, she used walnut shell. But I haven't got either of those things on hand right now. So we are just using the old cushion. Oh, that's a very bent pin. I think we'll say goodbye to that one. There we are. So look, we've got it stuffed, not all that evenly. Move that around a little bit. Let's trim this a little, but in the flower shape of the petals. Gosh, I'm making a lot of noise with all this jewellery on this one, aren't I? So there she is. Let's just do a different stitch. I've got all sorts of things here. Oh, I could do a binding. Yeah, let's do a binding out of this. I know for a frill. Yeah, a little bit of colour. See, I started out being a bit vintage. Now I'm feeling like I need a little bit more. could go back to my binding idea and have a frill on the back. Let's do that. I'll start here. Okay. Oh my gosh, you might be gasping. I've got something in plastic with a zipper. These are my travelling. This is, I've showed you this, the number 3 pearl. I really wanted it brighter. Let's do this one, except I don't think I've used this one yet. Have I got one that's open? I think these last came out in New Zealand. There we are. So yes, Adelaide, here I come, very excited. I've only ever been to Adelaide for work conferences in my previous life, which were so literally fly in, fly out, and just staying in the centre of the city. So I get to go to the Craft and Quilt Fair, or Craft Alive, whatever it's called, on Sunday. And then, yeah, as I said, teaching for the rest of the week. So I'll take my trusty little camera stand down. Gosh, look what I've done there. You know, don't you, that this isn't an instruction. This is a mini make with Scrappy Bits for Kate to play and make. So you probably need a much more descriptive way of doing this, but it's just always to give you ideas or confirm that you know what you're doing, and Kate doesn't. I don't mind at all. Now I want that to come out like a little skirt. Yep. Just to make sure I haven't buried a pin in there. I think I have, but I can still get it out this way. There it is. Now, if you were doing this, you might find it quite a lot easier to just work the sides of your pincushion first. And then, you know, put it together traditionally, and then put the stuffing in and just leave a tiny gap. I've done that on other videos earlier on. And it's not that I won't return to that. It's just this is stream of consciousness making. As I said, my reward for it's been pretty hectic. But America and Europe, I have worked out I'm so thrilled. I finally worked out how to do the labels for shipping on my computer before I go to the post office, or before my husband. Well, I had to do the international ones because he couldn't do that bit. Well, it was just too time consuming. So yeah, I saved a lot of time, and as I said, it made it a lot easier for him. And so it will be even easier whenever I have to post something. You know, when you know you should be able to do something and you don't give yourself enough time, or you go, oh, that sounds too hard. I'm having that feeling. Lifelong learning, I suppose it is. Right, what am I doing now? Because I've got that together, we're going to outline, do a little bit of fun petal stitching on this flower now. You may not be able to see the petals, but there are some markings there in pink. A little stray finger stab as I went by. I didn't scream, so that's a relief for you. Right, now, so that's the little frilly bit there, and then this is going to come up here and start to be the foundation of the back. We'll trim that bit off. So prune as you go, design as you go. Now we need something pretty there, but how about we give that one a rest, and I will do this one a more traditional way for you. I really want to use this colour, so I'm going to work out how to open it. They're very good at making this be secure, and I'm not very good at unwinding it. But there's an end. Sorry to waste your time. Oh, there we are. Perseverance. Check. So that's a little garden there. Oh, that's not very nice for you to be seeing all that white. So that's it so far. So I just looked, I've been filming for half an hour. We've already got a pin cushion, not finished and not embellished, but the start. Here we're going to go on for our second one. School holidays, I know when I've made these before, people have told me that you've sat down with grandchildren even and played and had fun making them. Anything that gets people with a needle in their hand and introduces them or just reminds them of the joy of stitching. Now you might be a wonderful blanket stitcher. In fact, Kerry was showing, well, we do blanket stitch. I haven't done it for a long time. You watch, it'll go wonky. People say it's always hardest to start, isn't it? So I'll go back in there. What am I doing? Yeah, it's been way too long. I have to get, I need to look it up. Because you have to have that line, that thread coming. So just, I forget I said blanket stitch because I don't want to lead you astray. I can do it, but my brain is too tired. So let's just do little V stitches for a minute. Get the brain thinking again. Yep. There we are. So it's still looping, isn't it? We're going in and coming out with the loop there. I mean, it's pretty with the variegated. So thank you for your patience. This Kate had a brain freeze. And it's just a reminder that it's like everything, practice and keep doing things and it stays in our short-term memory. And it does look effective on the side. And yours will be very neat, I know. Because, oh, it's impossible to do them as crazily as me. So yeah, we are in bleak weather at the moment. When the sun comes out, we appreciate it. Yeah, cold. Okay, so there we are. We've got the shape. Way more traditional, don't worry. There'll be frills and things all over the side of that. Little tug. Do I need a little tiny bit more? These ones I like putting in a cup. And sometimes I didn't even show you that. You measure them up so they fit exactly in the cup. I use them for everything. That's had gouache in it. Oh, the paintbrush. So there you are. That could go in there. There are all sorts of ways you can weight that, pull it down, have a string. You just do your favourite way. I'm going to stop the blanket stitch and I'm going to whip around because I want to decorate it a little bit with you. just carry that through because it will come out at some point. All right, so there's our little round pincushion. Love it. And what will we do? I've got some sari, cantha. Oh. Just found another pincushion that I didn't make. But, you know, so many ideas. And, oh, isn't that handy? Actually, that's not going to be very good because the pins will go into the metal. I started talking to you about pretty colours and pinks and French. Actually, okay, let's harvest. Because I saw that one as well. I'm going to save this bit of blanket for something else. I think Sally from Canberra's sister made me that. Yeah, she did. She painted these lace flowers for me. Okay, so thinking garden. There's that part there. And then we could have this rose in the center of it. You know what I mean? Like this is the cupcake idea. And I'd like to separate those petals out a bit. So they flip cup. And this is why you don't have to worry too much about your understitching. Okay, great. Let's go back to my fluoro. Let's go, come up in the middle. Secure it. Now again, you could have done the top on the blanket completely separately and then put it together. I'm just doing this with you, so it's good for it to be faster rather than slower on the video. So making little stamens and pink bits. Now, because because I've got that sort of secure, I'll just go and do a few stitches, embellishing stitches here on this flower. So just on the Indian, not all the way through. Colour in some petals. Three there. And this one here. Oops. That's two. And then let's come over and finish this one off that I started with a big stitch. There's that. Now this is the fun part. Now, my friends, we're going to do a stab. We're going to go all the way through. To the other side. Got all these things everywhere. So I'm going to actually pull that so it feels a bit more like a flower. Like, how can you not feel happy when you've got a flower? Now let's go back to, I started to say we were talking all things French. Yep. So we're going to come up in the center of here, and this is going to be the base covering, and it's going to come out like a flower on the sides. Now, you may not be able to imagine that yet. But maybe you can see where I'm going. So does it matter? Let's go out to the edge. And do some just running stitch. Isn't this pretty? Like, just again, little bits of your fabric that you like. I'm doing big stitches just so I can get around and show you. Putting the accelerator on. There's been some beautiful works and contributions on the Facebook page. Thank you so much for sharing with others. Okay, let's do a little prune now. So we're going to get rid of this pink squarey bit. Now, you could have just as easily made a circle if you wanted to. I'm sort of adjusting it as I go along. I want more 3D in my flower. Cut that one before. It's like a posy. You see that? So to be continued. Well, you'll probably see her actually in use. But other things that I haven't, that I said that I would use that I haven't, is even, what was that? Vintage French trimming. A little bit of this vintage. Just a little bit of that. Gosh, that's gorgeous. I put those down too. You can always... Ooh. Could always bring the center up. Actually, it needs to go there. Oh, handy, you've got a little mirror. Okay. Gosh, this is the longest video. Getting longer and longer. Just having more and more fun. Okay, so there we go. We've had a little play. The inspiration has been my one that I use all the time. This one's come down from beside me in the bedroom. And we've made a long one with bling that's already got a needle in it to be complete. And this one is just I really just want to show you that a bit of vintage lace under here. Like a posy. Oh. We could go on and on and on, but you've got the idea. There we are. I want to got some beads. Might take some beads to Adelaide. How many times have you said that? Heard me say that. But I'm serious. I'll take them. Thank you so much for being here with me. This might, I'm not sure. There's the lace I was looking for. This is going to elevate this one. Yep. Okay. I will see you again soon. I'm not making promises because it's a bit busy, but I treasure our time together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.